Hey folks, I'm Dieter Melhorn. Come along with me on this trip as my son Grayson and I go turkey hunting on Youth Weekend in South Carolina. Well folks, on this hunt, we weren't out of the truck long. We got our gear together and we heard some birds gobbling. I quickly got Grayson in position on a tree, and my first response was to go back up in the woods behind him to a big roadbed and do some calling. Now the plan was that I was kind of in line with where the turkeys were and was putting Grayson between me and the turkeys, but I realized that possibly a bird could come down that road. This road is like 400 yards long and it's a straight shot to some hardwoods. It's a long way for a bird to come, especially with my calling, but I decided to slip back into the woods, get adjacent to where he was set up at so that I could communicate with him. He may be on the ground. We got a bird about 200 yards down in the woods. We heard him on roost. I think he's on the ground now. Grayson's right up there in front of me. Birds on the ground. Sound like he's going away from us or in that creek bottom. Yeah, he's definitely on the ground. We got birds back that way, straight behind me, over that way. At least 2 or 3 down there. They've already responded to some calls, so I'm not trying to make too much racket. They know we're here. I just heard a hen. Fly down. Well, the birds that we heard gobbling before sunrise, it sounded like they hit the ground and they started moving away. They were still gobbling, we were still hearing them, but I knew the land, knew they were in a creek bottom, and it sounded like they were going away. Now, the good news was we had 2 more birds that were fairly close that were gobbling, and it sounded like they were moving. So I had Grayson spin around 45 degrees on the tree in case they came in from the direction that we were hearing them. Grayson, those birds may be coming.
Yeah, go ahead if you can. You can like lay your gun down and move. I just no, just stay where you're at. Stay where you're at. Hopefully he comes to the decoy.
Well, these birds gobbled back and forth for a while. We could hear them, but again, it sounded like they were moving toward a creek bottom. Sounded like they were right on the edge of a cutover, and they weren't coming into us. The one interesting thing was one of the birds that I heard early on, first thing, that was way off, way up that long road I was telling you about, sounded like it was closing the distance. I made a few more short yelps to this bird, and sure enough, it was coming. It was coming down the road. Now, it was coming from really 180 degrees from where we were initially set up. So I had Grayson spin around again to face the opposite direction of where he started out.
I think I've counted 7 different birds so far. That one ain't moving. He's on the food plot. I'm pretty sure there's a food plot back through the woods there.
Well, the hope was that this bird was going to come down the road, jump up into the woods, and come down a skidder road where they had cut timber. This skidder road ran straight to where we had the decoy set up and right by where Grayson was. And sure enough, for once, the bird did what it was supposed to.
That's him. Let him get close. Let him keep coming.
Now, I apologize. I was filming this with just a GoPro camera, so I didn't have a big camera with me. And it turns out I probably wouldn't have had a good shot of this turkey anyway. But if you pay attention to the little arrow, you can see the bird stick his head up and you can see him fan.
Shoot him.
Holy freaking crap!
Was that not the bit? Oh my God.
Bro, he was right on top of us. Listen, I heard a poop. I heard a poop right over there, and I saw his tail. I just saw his fan come right over here. God.
Dude, that bird came 300
Straight to
yards.
us.
We had birds literally 200 yards when we got out of the truck. I hit the alarm and they started gobbling. They were this way. And then we had another bird or two back over here that started gobbling and moving up. And I got Grayson to spin around on the tree. And then they kind of moved that way. And then we heard this bird. I heard him earlier, way off. And I told Grayson, I said, he's gobbling funny. Be careful, he might be a jake. And he started coming. He started coming down the road. Yeah, good job.
Got him.
Nice bird, son. Nice one. That's awesome. They're still gobbling.
I know.
They are still going off in the woods behind us. You still shaking?
Yeah. Listen, if I could kill 2 birds today, we'd probably put this in the back of the truck and sit back down.
I know. That's a crazy thing. Good bird. Let me get a wide shot of you. All right, guys. Now here's the really fun. I got to show you this. Here's the really funny part. Is I want to show you where the truck's at. Okay.
It's a really long walk. I mean, it's
All
a
right.
hike.
The turkey's right there. The decoy's right there, and right there's the truck sitting right there. It's a
hike and a half.
We literally, like I said, we got out of the truck and had birds that close. And I mean, look at that. They were that close to us. And I said, there's no point in trying to move and go anywhere. We're right here at them, and it worked. She fooled them again. How many has she fooled for us now? About 4 or 5?
She's fooled 5 for me and however many for you.
Good times. This is in the middle of the coronavirus stuff. So we're blessed to be out here, and luckily we got one before the sun even cleared up over the trees. So
that's the quickest hunt I've ever had.
It really was. That was getting one on fly down.
Quickest hunt. I mean, that was.
It's a good hunt. Let's wrap it up like we always do. Say a prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for watching over us. Thank you for the blessing of the bird. Watch over us and watch over our family in our absence. Amen.
Amen.
You're still shaking.